Live Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa here. Welcome to the MLive Morning Weather Update. Thanks for joining me. We're going to look at the weather pattern, and we get a few mild to warm days in February, but we know it's usually mostly out of 28 days, it's usually 25 days are wintry. Weather pattern we have coming is almost unbelievable. And once we get through it, we might just go, wow, what just happened? Not much winter is just what happened. Well, we did have some winter this morning in northern lower Michigan. Houghton Lake to Gaylord up into the northeast corner. Got a shot of freezing rain, fairly heavy. Someone even reported thunder and lightning with that. A quick 1/10 of an inch accumulation or so, but now temperatures are on the way up and the precipitation is done. Let me just say hi to some folks first, if I can. Let's try a hard name first. Janet Sirdowski? How'd I do? Good morning. Good morning, Ellen Pashini from Ann Arbor. Hey, thank you very much for appreciating the live communication. Montrose Township, Colleen Brewer, good morning. And Rick Beers from Miyawataka. When I first moved to Michigan, early 90s, I was at a station in Traverse City. And back then, it used to be customary for the photographers at the news station. I do enjoy a cup of Joe now. The photographers would go out and get what's called a weather shot. So they'd go out and find a nice, pretty scenery, and it might have weather falling in it. It might have just, nature or whatever. And we'd start our weathercast. Hey, check it out. Well, photographer there thought, I'm going to throw this guy a curve. The first day on the job in northern Michigan, he gives me a weather video from Miyawataka. And no, it didn't come out well, those words, but I mastered it since then. So here we go. So the precipitation is basically done. Look at these temperatures right now. It's already in the 40s for us here in southern lower, 40 in Saginaw and Frankenmuth and Bay City and Midland, 43, Grand Rapids, and going up, 45-ish in Kalamazoo, still upper 30s in Detroit area. And in the iced up area of the Northeast, 35 and going up. So, I just wrote a post about this. Don't get in your car real quickly and race northward into the Northeast if you're going that way. Give yourself a couple of hours. By 11, the winter weather advisory expires, and that's because temperatures will be in the upper 30s at that point. Here is the radar forecast. This is the short-term radar forecast showing we have a good travel day today. Should be generally a dry day, aside from maybe a little patch of drizzle here or there this morning, but that's about it. So this is Tuesday afternoon. This is this afternoon and this evening. And then this is tomorrow noonish. So if you have to travel tomorrow, you're A-OK, you're precipitation free. Then the next storm system here comes from the south. But look, this is Thursday, 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., and the rain is on us, and fairly substantial rain. Now you see a little pocket of what the model is trying to forecast of freezing rain over Lake Erie. I doubt that affects us. It won't, because we'll be very warm, well above freezing all across southern half of lower Michigan. So it starts as rain, stays as rain, except for the UP. And we'll look at that a little bit closer here, but I want to give you the big picture. Okay, so we're into Wednesday, and again, good travel all the way south if you're going to the southeast, except that eventually at some point Wednesday night and Thursday, you wind up with one of these cold fronts in the southeast, and those are the storms that produce tornadoes at this time of the year in the nighttime. Alabama, Mississippi. So if you're going to Gulf Shores, Alabama, or the Florida Panhandle, Wednesday night, you got to watch out for that with severe weather. But for us, notice a large shield of precipitation. I'll break it down to you, but give you the scoop. It's mostly all rain for most of us. Now we get on the backside of it Thursday night, Friday, and we get somewhat colder air. So this is Friday evening and Friday night. Now, what we had been looking at before was a secondary low developing, and I told you about, maybe it was yesterday. Yeah, it's only Tuesday. Yesterday that I said, those kind of forecasts on the modeling are a little bit iffy. They happen, but usually change a lot in details. And we see a little bit of a change, but still the notice that late Friday, we might watch for a quick messiness of snow. We'll see that here just very shortly. Hey, thanks for joining me. We're 327 strong. This is MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torgrosa. Please hit the share button. This is how we do it every morning. So here we are, Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening, southeast, maybe. And then, remember, the red lines signify warm air for this time of the year. We're into next Monday. Now look at next Tuesday. We get the red lines all the way up into southern Canada. And the next storm system taking a farther west track, putting us fully in the southerly flow perhaps by next Wednesday and Thursday, and keeping us with rain again. And when the storm moves out, behind it, the most amazing thing to me is it's still warm. Now, having said that, winter is, we know winter's not over. You don't need me to tell you that, right? We know winter's not over. We know Old Man Winter has something in his bag of tricks. If that strong temperature gradient shifts south and we get nudged into some colder air by late February, March, we could get clocked. We could get clocked with our biggest snowstorm. It's certainly not out of the question. But the coldest time of the year, last of January, first couple of weeks of February, pretty much we're done with the extreme cold. And then we could just likely will flip-flop to nastiness at some point in March. It just almost always happens. All right, here's a little closer look at what's going to happen as far as rain versus snow. Same model, European, so that's what came through. And again, remember, I'm telling you, tomorrow is a pretty good... hey, thank you, Stacy Nag. Appreciate it very much. Monica Hadley, good morning to you. Rosaline Lambert, Rosaline? I'm not sure. Lambert, thank you for sharing. So here's Thursday afternoon. See, we are solidly into a solid rain. The snow across the tip of the mid into the UP. Thursday evening, snowing across the UP, rain across most of lower Michigan, including northern lower. And then by Thursday night into Friday morning, the snow creeps in the north. We dry out in the south. And then there's that little system for perhaps Friday afternoon, Friday night. And we go into next week, and there's another system pulling up farther to the west, and we could get thunder showers out of that. How much snow here? On the Thursday snow, it's a walloper in the UP, 6 to 10 incher on the cold side. Nothing across the southern half of lower Michigan. And then next week's rain brings nothing across the southern half of lower Michigan again. So a 10-day forecast in the middle of February has almost to perhaps zero snow in it. Deborah Hauser, very, very true. So much like a Tennessee type winter. I might use that in the headline. All right, now these are going to be moisture-laden storms. Look at this first rain coming Thursday. It's a ½ inch to an inch. Check your downspouts. Check your downspouts, folks, and make sure you didn't, in December when we had to shovel some, make sure you didn't knock the downspout off, because you could have some frost in the ground, and then boom, the water comes right down the side of your basement, and then you're standing on the rug down there going, something feels wet. So check that. So that's first rain, and then the second rain adds more on. So we're talking a 10-day period where we could have over an inch of rain, which is almost the amount of rain that we would normally have in the whole month of February. And remind you, we do need it. The southeast part of the state, Oakland County, much of the Detroit area, Genesee, Lapeer County, back to Ann Arbor, under severe drought right now. So we need a couple of 1-inch rains here in the next month or so to get us some subsoil moisture to get into, the growing season. Okay. All right. I forgot. I got one more thing for you, and it's probably the most incredible thing I'm going to show you that'll make it unbelievable. Here are the high temperature forecasts each day for the next 10 days from the European model. Remember, I'm accepting the general scenario of the European model, so I accept also the temperatures that it's cranking out. And here we go. Let me get it into a nice perspective for you so you can see it all. And I hope you're seated. Remember, this is February. You didn't bump your head and wake up in late March. So today, low 50s, Ann Arbor and Detroit. Upper 40s, Saginaw, Lansing. Mid 40s, Grand Rapids. Already 42 in Traverse City, so this will be easy to do. Tomorrow, mid to upper 40s. Thursday, as the storm comes northward, it pulls warm air with it. Let's see, Terry Roads. Thursday travel from Big Rapids to Ann Arbor. Rain. Moderate rain and temperatures. Well, you see right there, temperatures probably in the 40s and 50s to maybe near 60. Okay, so this is Thursday, maybe near 60 in Ann Arbor and Detroit. 50s up to Saginaw Bay City and Grand Rapids, and upper 30s in the north. And then Friday, just ease back to still above normal, upper 30s to low 40s in the south. And Saturday, our coldest day. This is our coldest day of the next 10 days, Saturday. High of 35, Saginaw Bay City, Grand Rapids, 35 Lansing, 36 Kalamazoo, 37 Detroit. Coldest day, remind you, February 11th. In the 10-day period. And then Sunday, back well into the 40s. Monday, in the 40s to near 50. Tuesday, low 50s, 40s in the UP, 40s. Next Wednesday, depending on the track of the storm, the arrival of the rainfall, if we get some dry periods in the middle of the day on Wednesday, we could have 60-degree readings. Hard to say exactly how far it will go northward, but we could have it. And next Thursday, in the 60s, perhaps. Maybe mid-60s. So, let me just put that in perspective. I just showed you 3 of 10 days in mid-February that could hit 60 degrees in, say, the southern third, southern half of lower Michigan. I showed you the coldest day being 37, 38 degrees in places like Ann Arbor and Lansing and Grand Rapids. Pretty bizarre. We don't really have an official warmest week on record type good stat. I'd have to see if it could be found. I'd probably have to derive it. It would take a lot of work, but I would tell you that if we get a week with 360-degree readings and then 40s and 50s in southern lower, it's probably one of your warmest February weeks you've ever encountered. So there. Unbelievable? I think so. Hey, thanks for joining me. We're still almost 300 strong. This is the MLive Morning Weather Update. This is how I do this every morning, 9-ish or so. Honestly, depending on how quickly I get motivated. And how severe the weather is, obviously. If it's severe, I get right on it. So, thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Please go to mlive.com/weather and track my posts. Today, I'm going to talk about the Accumulated Winter Severity Index. We've devised a way, other meteorologists devised a way to track how severe a winter is. And of course, I want to see what it looks like this year. We know it may be record least severe. And then I'm going to talk about the signs that we get in February in a normal February. So watch for those posts. Thanks for joining me, and take care.